to our foods. And then Elon Musk is going to tell you, well, the Neuralink will cure all common illnesses, including things like, I don't know, depression.
This woman was severely depressed. Now she says she has her life back. And it's not thanks to drugs or years and years of therapy, but a device that's implanted in her brain. According to the World Health Organization, there are around 264 million people who suffer from depression. And though there is still so much we don't know about depression, one thing the medical community does know is that there is no one-size-fits-all treatment. And that notion is at the core of an experiment that appears to have successfully treated a woman's severe depression using a brain implant. Now, a warning, we're going to be talking about suicide and suicidal thoughts. So if that sort of thing is hard for you to hear about, maybe consider not watching this. We only know the patient as Sarah. She wanted to keep her full identity a secret. But in an audio recording with researchers, she says she'd been struggling with severe depression for years.
My daily life had become so restricted and impoverished by depression that I felt tortured by each day I forced myself to resist the suicidal impulses that overtook me several times an hour.
She says she'd tried every type of therapy and treatment with no results, until researchers at UC San Francisco recruited her for experimental therapy back in 2020. They implanted a matchbook-sized device similar to this one in her brain. Now, this device is designed to detect when Sarah starts becoming depressed. Then it sends electrical pulses through Sarah's brain to prevent that depression. Now, this is a form of treatment known as deep brain stimulation, and it's already used to treat disorders like Parkinson's. DBS as a treatment for depression actually isn't new. It's been studied before with mixed results. But this is the first time the stimulation has ever been customized to the patient.
People with depression are very different from each other. And generally, depression therapy has been a one-size-fits-all endeavor.
Dr. Andrew Crystal is one of the lead authors on the study.
For us, the particular kinds of symptoms a person has matters because we're trying to match how we intervene so that it fixes the specific kind of problem that they have.
To personalize treatment for Sarah, they started by creating a map of her neural activity. They spent 10 days monitoring her neural patterns, stimulating different areas of her brain, and tracking changes in her mood.
What we saw is that depending on where you stimulate, you could achieve several different kinds of effects, a number of them that a person could find beneficial.
Sarah remembers the first time that stimulation took away her depression.
The aha moment occurred. I felt the most intensely joyous sensation, and my depression was a distant nightmare for a moment.
And by the end of it, the researchers developed what they called Sarah's depression circuit.
The question was which places that we stimulated that led to the set of changes that aligned with our patient's symptoms. And it was one that aligned best with her symptoms.
Think of it as a blueprint for what Sarah's brain looks like when she's depressed. Now that they had this blueprint, they could customize a DBS device to do two things. First, it could recognize when Sarah's neural activity matched her depression circuit. And when it did detect that pattern, the device could stimulate the part of her brain that had already shown to best relieve those symptoms.
That's the electrical field.
This seems a drastic treatment.
Got the deep brain stimulating electrode coming in here, generating an electrical field.
Surgically implanting a device into a patient's brain to treat obsessive thoughts. But patient Nanette Vardy-Forth was willing to try anything to feel better.
To leave the house, you have to perform a lot of rituals, a lot of checking, rearranging, to make sure that the taps are off, the light switches are off.
Even something as simple as getting to an appointment was a challenge.
Well, it's very frustrating because it doesn't end. It will just keep on going and the bad feeling will stay.
In Nanette and 8 other patients, scientists used electrodes to stimulate the part of the brain responsible for fear.
This electricity dampens that fear response and allows people with OCD then to challenge some of these intrusive thoughts.
The clinical effect was quite marked. This one goes to here.
At the start of the study, half of the patients didn't have the device switched on, showing the therapy was a promising treatment.
When you turn it on, the thoughts abate and the compulsions to do these actions abated.
And soon, more people could benefit.
We're about to start a trial in anorexia and for pain.
More than 500,000 Australians have OCD, but this treatment isn't for everybody. It's only recommended when medication and therapy haven't made any difference. For Nanette, at least, the treatment was nothing short of life-changing.
Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Unto those like foreigners, for the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Be a quick show to the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Don't want you brothers be edified. And as the title is per se, Lying Wonders. I'm going to call it Lying Wonders and False Miracles. Because that's what we getting. You know, Esau is a master of deception. And the way he's painting things are, this is how he's going to bring in his ultimate New World Order. By introducing the world to something that seemingly can cure all disease of man. Seemingly to be a miracle of miracles. And with that, they're going to take as many souls as they possibly can, because everything that is written in the scriptures is coming to fruition. All right, every single thing that the scriptures said is coming to light. Even Esau, the so-called white man, the things that he's pushing is coming to light. He is fully going to try to put a you-know-what into everybody's foreheads, like the scripture says, so that way he could be able to control people. And he's going to sell it to the people only the best way the devil can sell it, by a false miracle, which is going to fool a lot of people. Which, matter of fact, I'm saying in Matthew 24. Slakia. Matthew 24. I saw 11. It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. All right, so many false prophets are going to deceive many. All right. So what does that mean? That means that people, when you look up, I don't have to look up the word deception. To deceive, it's a lie to. So there's going to be a lot of individuals out there that are going to lie their way to the top, so to speak. All right, because these are the times of the false prophets and these false anointeds to spring up. Matthew 24 and 24, it says, for there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Isn't that a great sign? Somebody got autism. They put a you-know-what in their forehead. All of a sudden, the person's talking regular, sharper than everybody else. That would be a great sign and a wonder. A miracle, so to speak. And so much that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. If it was possible, but because the elect is not going to fall for that. Because everything that's been written is being manifest. All right? And the way they're selling it is exactly how the devil always sells things. See, there's nothing new under the sun. Esau would do the same thing over and over again, and just with different twists. He would advertise something seemingly to be safe and effective. It sounds familiar. But the consequences and repercussions of doing what he's saying for the long run would end up destroying you. So going to Revelations 16 and right, 16 and 13, it says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon, which is NATO to EU, which ultimately is America, NATO, EU, and the Roman Catholic Church. This is Esau's current system. All right, out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophets, because when this whole entire pandemic took place, all these entities, America, NATO, EU, all right, and the Catholic Church were all siding with science. You got to trust in the science. You got to trust in the science. Because America is nothing but modern day Rome all over again. Okay? And America is that whore that's riding that beast. So in the false prophet, which is the Catholic Church, which the majority of people on the planet Earth are Catholics, was teaching that not to trust in faith, but to trust in science. So all this wicked, demonic things that's going on is coming from these entities. It says, for they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth. So they working miracles. So when you see somebody that's an amputee, missing a limb, and you know they say when somebody loses a limb, it's called what is it called again? A fake limb. Basically, they still feel like that particular body part is still there. Now they could put somebody with some sort of robotics and tease the brain to believe that this is actually the arm. All right, that's a miracle. Okay, that's a false miracle, and that's what they about to show the whole entire world, the falsehood, the lies of it. And they're gonna say in the guides of science. That reminds me of the TV show, the episode of Twilight Zone, the Absolute Man. And he was, the characters was a well played. I remember the Apostle Spin said that, and when I actually saw it for myself, I was shocked at awe how great this thing was played out. And this came out maybe the 1950s, 40s. I mean, not 40s, not that long. 50s, 60s, around that time frame. And it was well put out. And it was the idea of the New World Order, which entails, matter of fact, on Revelations 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So the whole episode, the Absolute Man, was about that particular thing. He wasn't getting down with the New World Order. So they put him in trial and basically saying that his job and his life was forfeited because he served no purpose in the New World Order. But as I go back, what was the whole full thing really truly about was to show you how in that particular episode when they was going back and forth, the guy that was defending himself, he said basically God made me, and the guy that was judging the matter said the state proved that there is no God. All right, by what? By the guise of science. Okay. So this is what the narrative of the society and how they are going to bring these miracles. And if people does not want to get down with this, they're going to be put to death. All right. This is why what's it David Rockefeller say they plan to make people so sick that when it goes for the cure, they're going to make the people sicker. So this is all part of the plan, the massive plan. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I haven't read this in a while. Micah 2:1. It says, woe unto them that deviseth iniquity and work evil upon their beds. And when you look up the word devices, it's kashab, to think, plan, to esteem, calculate, invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. The scriptures tells you they cannot sleep without bringing some sort of mischief. So they calculated everything. So to get everybody sick they send people to war. The people that goes to war, they come back shattered because of the war. Oh, we got a cure for that. People that got autism, they made them sick by the you know what. And then next thing you know it, to get back to behold once again, there's an opportunity of getting there. So this man is falsely pushing an evil device around the world. All right. It says when the morning is light, they practice it because what? By the laws. Now the whole thing right now in the U.S., the hot topic, which is nothing but a distraction, is the anti-abortion bill that's being pushed. And that's being pushed because their job is to distract the people while the real agenda is taking place. We're showing this man's nothing but a magician. All right, a wicked, evil wizard. All right, a witch, warlock, or however you want to call it. That's what they are. They are about pushing a wicked, evil agenda. Going back, we go to 2 Thessalonians 2:10. It says, matter of fact, it's 9. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power, because what? Satan allows this man to have power. All right, the Most High gave Esau a blessing. And part of that blessing was what? The sword. The sword is not just something that you kill with. The sword could kill you slow. All right? There's ways of killing people slowly. And this is what the power that Esau has. The power of deception. The power to kill people slowly. All right? With all power, signs, and lying wonders. So that's a lying wonder. Not to bring your sticking to the amputees, not to bring your original limb back to normal, like a lizard. Some certain lizards, I believe iguanas has it. Like if you chop off the iguana's tail, it'll eventually grow back. All right. They're not gonna be able to do that. They're gonna just add something to you, and then allow the CHIP that's in you to give you the indication that that limb is there. All right, which ultimately is not part of their agenda. Their true agenda is to mark their territory, to give people the digital ooh, and having them fully submit to being the child of Satan, being the adversary. That's what this whole entire God gene was all about. With this, you know what, that's being this liquid love that's out there. It was to put people's resistance more down, so that when that ultimate prophecy takes place, that people would blindly take the side of Satan. Okay? Isaiah, I gotta bring this out. 32:5, it says, the vile person shall no more be called liberal, which liberal is a noble. All right. So no longer are they gonna be able to be called liberal. They're gonna be known as the vile pieces of shit that they are. No, the true said to be bountiful. The vile person will speak villainy, all right, meaning wickedly. In his heart will he work iniquity, meaning in his mind he's working iniquity. What's iniquity? Breaking of the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. So he's finding ways to do that, and this is the ultimate battle, the ultimate last prophecy that's going to be fulfilled. It says to practice hypocrisy and utter error against the Lord, which that's what they're doing. right before everybody's eyes, they saying that the Lord made mistakes. A man that decides to become a woman, they could become a woman. A woman that want to be a man, because in the wrong body, that's a complete error against what the Lord said, established. Even to the point of these miracles. All right? It says, to make empty the soul of the hungry and will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail, and which is ironic because we in the time of the what? The famine, all right, which they purposely doing it. The instrument also of the churl are evil, and that's the instrument, all right, Revelations the 13th chapter, that the evil churls has established, okay? That's the ultimate evil device. And he devises wicked device to destroy the poor with lying words, and even the needy speaketh upright. Okay? So there you go. Revelations 13 and 16 says, and he causeth both all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And that's what whole Elon Musk is, his whole sole purpose, other than setting up shop to fight the Lord, which is a major purpose. It seems like he's the guy that's going to do with both things at one time. He's that devil. Seemingly, he's that devil that's going to help the elites to escape and ultimately fight the angels. But down on earth, he's the one that's pushing this Neuralink to be placed in the minds of men and women. And people is going to not only be linked to one another, the higher ups is going to be able to have all of your private thoughts is going to be theirs. You're going to be completely, fully owned by this new world order. All right? It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Is it talking about one man? No, it's talking about a race of men. All right, Esau, Edom, and his number is 603 scores. And I'm ending off on 14th chapter, Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, which is NATO evil, New World Order, all right, and his image, which that is their New World Order, where you could do whatever you want, supposedly, but to make the complete pledge, your soul given to Satan. It says, and to receive a mark in their forehead or in their hand, left, right, it doesn't matter. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. So ultimately, those who take that, that charagma, because that's the Hebrew word for mark. The Greek word for mark. All right, which means in this section with cutting of the flesh. Okay, because either they're gonna operate in your head, or they're gonna give you a shot on your right hand or on your left, whatever cute people want it. They're gonna put that CHIP in you, and that's gonna make you marked for death, to be an audience of our Lord, the angels, the holy angels, and the elect of the nation of Israel, to look upon down on earth like this is the results of taking that thing. All right. So great judgment is coming. Is going to come to this earth. It says, and the smoke of their torment extended up forever and ever. They have no rest day nor night. who worship the beast, his image, and who receiveth the mark of his name. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.